known for its unique cowboy culture, great food, and attractions. This city is a must-see to get a true sense of the American spirit. Hello and welcome to Travel Overlooked, where we inform you of the most overlooked travel destinations, as well as a different perspective from the most visited areas of the world. If you enjoy our videos, please consider hitting that subscribe button. In today's video, we'll be talking about Oklahoma City. Oklahoma was first settled back in 1889, when the region was unassigned to any native tribes and open for settlement. The unclaimed land caught the attention of thousands of homesteaders, each racing to grab a piece of that land for themselves. Over 10,000 homesteaders made their new homes in the area, with many more to come, thus making the population double within a decade. The city was booming, so much so that several of its citizens stepped up and helped further its development. They helped create an efficient trolley system, railway, major business centers, and attracted several large meatpacking plants, along with many other types of industry. A decade later, many oil wells were discovered, and due to this, many were able to escape largely unscathed by the Great Depression, while other cities were not as lucky. Oil was, and still is, so plentiful here that there's even an oil rig in front of the Capitol building. Throughout the years, the city had many declines ranging from the Great Depression, the Dust Bowl, people moving elsewhere, dwindling jobs, and crumbling infrastructure. But with every decline came a positive change, provided by the dedicated and loyal residents. Such changes included the New Deal, urban renewal, and the Metropolitan Area Projects Plan, which greatly aided the construction of many of the beautiful buildings and attractions seen in present day. In a way, it helped bring much life back to a slowly dying city. Amid all this optimism and positive change, something horrific happened. In 1995, Timothy McVeigh rented a truck, filled it with explosives, and drove it to downtown Oklahoma City, killing 168, injuring approximately 850 people, and decimating much of the surrounding buildings. This horrific incident was, and still is, the largest domestic terrorist attack in American history. The area it took place in is now home to Oklahoma City National Memorial, built in honor for all that were affected by this atrocity. In present day, the incident is still a looming shadow, but with the help of the resilient residents, the city continues to thrive and grow. Now on to the attractions. Oklahoma City has a numerous number of attractions to visit, one of them being the Oklahoma City National Memorial. As previously mentioned, this attraction was made in the honor of the Oklahoma City bombing. The entire area of the memorial was the spot where the bombing happened, and has since been dedicated for the lives lost and their grieving families. When you first enter the area, you'll first see these large structures called the Gates of Time. The name comes from the numbers on top, which are 901 and 903, the first representing the innocents before the attack, the other symbolizing the moment healing began. You'll notice that as soon as you step foot inside, everything becomes eerily silent. This was purposely made to give a silent respect to those who have passed away. Within, you'll see about 168 chair-like structures, which all serve as tombstones. Later in the memorial, you'll stumble upon the Survivor Tree. This tree is located at the highest point of the area, and was the only tree to survive the attack. It once was a tree residing within a parking lot. Now, it stands as a living symbol for resilience. This memorial is a truly humbling experience, and is a must for tourists and locals alike. On a lighter note, the next attraction are the many museums the city has to offer. They have a wider range of unique and common museums, such as the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum, the Railway Museum, Museum of Osteology, and even a banjo museum, with the National Cowboy Museum being the most famous in the area. This museum strives in collecting, preserving, and displaying Western art and artifacts, so much so that they've curated over 2,000 pieces. The most iconic of the bunch being this statue called the End of the Trail. Much of their exhibits range from classic American cowboys, Native American culture, frontier military, Victorian firearms, rodeos, and so much more. Speaking of rodeos, They have the world's most extensive collection of American rodeo photography, saddlery, barbed wire, and some of the first trophies made for the sport. So head on over to this museum if you're a cowboy enthusiast or simply love the plentiful history of the American West. Another fantastic spot, reminiscent of the Wild West, is Frontier City. This Western-themed amusement park is a must when visiting with the family. Owned and operated by Six Flags, which means it has some of my personal favorite events, such as Fright Fest during Halloween, and Holiday in the Park during the Christmas season. On normal days, this park features plenty to do for children and adults alike. For adults, they have large high-speed roller coasters to get your thrill and scream on. For the kids, they can ride on the train, soar through the skies on miniature airplanes, and much more. And finally, for both parties, they can have double the fun in the water park. Here you can ride the twists and turns of the river rapids, or plunge down the 60-foot tall water slides. There's so much to do for everyone in this exciting and fun-filled park. Up next is the Myriad Botanical Gardens. After having days of excitement, be sure to head on over to these gardens for refreshingly relaxing scenery. The Myriad Botanical is a 17-acre garden primarily featuring the Crystal Bridge Tropical Conservatory. This conservatory houses over 750 varieties of towering palm trees, tropical plants, and flowers alongside scenic cascading waterfalls, and a sky bridge to experience the gorgeous views of the tropical forest encased within. In the gardens outside, you can enjoy basking in the sunlight beside the refreshing pond overlooking the many koi fish and ducks. Be sure to visit for a lazy afternoon filled with the splendid scenery nature has to offer. And finally, at least for this list, is the classic Oklahoma Zoo, covering over 119 acres and home to over 1,900 different animals. This zoo is a must for animal lovers. They have an abundance of themed animal sections for you to explore. In their Asian-themed area, they showcase a large herd of Asian elephants. In the Great Escape section, they have a wide variety of apes, monkeys, chimpanzees, and much more. There's an area called the Cat Forest, where they have many species of small and big cats, such as snow leopards, African lions, and tigers. In addition, there's a long trail dedicated to featuring animals native to the state of Oklahoma. The zoo also contains a lovely butterfly garden, an aquarium, and a children's zoo. They feature so many more animals that are just waiting for you to visit. Oklahoma, being the capital of cowboys, must have delicious food that matches up to such a title. One of their most famous restaurants is the Cattleman's Steakhouse, first opening its doors in 1910 for hungry ranchers, cowboys, and cattle haulers. Nowadays, it's open for all to visit, especially steak enthusiasts. With many awards under their belt, they're a must-see, featuring their unique decor, accompanied with their famous T-bone steaks, and USDA Prime Blue Ribbon Special. Cattleman's Steakhouse is the place to kick back with a juicy tender cut of meat in one hand and a nice glass of wine in the other. For sure, these steaks will make you satisfied for a lifetime. That is, until you start craving them again. Next is a fantastic breakfast hotspot, known for their high-quality coffee and fresh food, Café Cacao. This cafe is filled to the brim with home-style Guatemalan dishes and the freshest coffee in Oklahoma. Their coffee is best described as having a clean, bright flavor with light notes of apricot and ripe oranges, all balanced with a subtle hint of dark chocolate. This type of flavor is unique to the greatest coffees originating Guatemala. As for their food, Guatemalan staples are corn. Tortilla de maíz, also known as corn tortillas, are a main feature to their dishes. Their homemade tortillas, served alongside fresh and vibrant salsas, brought together with the meat of your choice, will make for a phenomenal breakfast that you won't forget. Looking for a quick yet delicious lunch? Then look no further than Empire Slice House. Serving fresh out of the oven pizza slices, this restaurant is a great spot for getting your pizza game on. They have all sorts of creative pizza combinations for any pizza enthusiast to enjoy. One of their most noteworthy slices is the Fungus Among Us. This slice is topped with cremini, baby bellas, button mushrooms, spinach, and truffle oil. Its name certainly lives up to its unique yet delectable flavor. Besides pizza, they have a great selection of beers and very yummy garlic knots that'll keep you snacking for more. Other than food, the restaurant atmosphere is very enjoyable and vibe-worthy, making you feel right at home. And last but not least, Whiskey Cake Kitchen and Bar. This spot is a great place to frequent if you love local craft cocktails, accompanied with locally grown farm-fresh comfort food. They're famous for their extensive list of cocktails, deviled eggs, cheese fondue, rotisserie chicken, and even their French-pressed coffee. Inside, it's reminiscent of a pub brewery, making it a cozy and warm spot to eat and drink your fill. Oklahoma City is one of those places where you can experience a different view of American culture and history, brimming with American patriotism, jam-packed with history, amazing food, and wonderful people. Who wouldn't want to come here and experience this fine city? Thank you so much for watching, and please support us by subscribing, liking, and sharing your thoughts in the comments below. You can purchase our merch in the link below. Stay tuned for future videos. Who knows? Maybe you'll see your hometown in the next one. Take care!